airfare is expensive, especially during the peak summer months when a lot of people are traveling. Some of you may be considering all of your options, including airports outside of Charlotte, when you're looking to catch a deal.
Our consumer investigator Caroline Hicks is looking into the most cost-effective options in the Carolinas.
If you live in Charlotte, flying in and out of Charlotte Douglas is probably your first instinct. But there are other airports within driving distance. The question is a longer drive worth it? Well, here's what I found out. According to the Bureau of Transportation Statistics, this is how the average fares for a domestic flight in the first quarter of 2024 stacked up. Out of Charlotte Douglas, the average was about $447. A similar price out of Greensboro, around $477. Out of Raleigh, roughly $380, and cheaper out of Asheville at around $325. The cheapest option, Concord Padgett Regional Airport, at about $110. In fact, Concord Padgett was just ranked one of the most affordable airports in the country. But do you get the same options? No. While most of the airports I just mentioned offer several major airlines, that's not the case everywhere.
Right now, Concord only offers Allegiant with flights to Orlando, St. Pete, Fort Lauderdale, and Punta Gorda, Florida, and Avelo Airlines with flights to New Haven, Connecticut.
So, if you have trips coming up to some of those destinations and flexibility to drive, it may be worth checking out some of those airports. Of course, flight prices are always fluctuating, so you'll want to track them online to get the best deal. Plus, if you're frustrated by those long TSA lines that we've been seeing this summer at Charlotte Douglas, it may be worth it to you to opt for a regional airport with fewer passengers. I'm Caroline Hicks with your Consumer Solutions.